Greetings and good day. Master Kit Antonis, President of Australian Malaysia Business Chamber, Western Australia, Master Ahmad Fikri Jakain, Consul General of Malaysia, and Master Richard Sellers, Director General, Department of Jobs, Tourism, Science and Innovation, ladies and gentlemen. I am truly honored to be invited on behalf of Sarawak Government to deliver a short greeting speech in conjunction with the launching of Sarawak Western Australian Market Research Report. The report has comprehensively covered the important aspect of future partnership between Sarawak and Western Australia. Business communities from both sides of the region would be able to have insight on potential market segments and industry overview, including support from the government and business association in facilitating business and investment. In fact, the Sarawak government has planned to organize the Sarawak Western Australia Business Forum and Expo in Perth in 2020 in collaboration with the Consul General of Malaysia in Perth. Unfortunately, due to the COVID-19 pandemic and the movement restrictions globally, the planned event has to be postponed to a later date. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to take this opportunity to share a brief overview of Sarawak, its economy, and future direction. Sarawak is the largest state in the Federation of Malaysia and is located strategically at the island of Borneo, within 5 to 7 hours flight journey from major ASEAN markets such as Japan, South Korea, China, India, as well as Australia. Sarawak has a huge landmass of 12.4 million hectares and is blessed with rich natural resources and arable land for agriculture and natural forests. The vast rivers have huge energy potential to generate about 20,000 megawatts of hydroelectric power. Sarawak also has huge deposits of minerals such as coal, kaolin clay, silica sand, as well as large reserve of petroleum and natural gas that have yet to be fully tapped. Sarawak has a relatively small and young population of 2.8 million, comprising more than 27 ethnic groups. Sarawak is the third largest contributor to the Malaysia economy. In 2019, Sarawak contributed 9.6% to Malaysia economy, and this contribution is largely from the oil and gas sectors. Sarawak economy in 2020 is projected to contract by 3.5% to 5%, much affected by the disruptions of global supply chains due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Across the economic sectors, the services, manufacturing, and mining sectors are the main contributors to Sarawak economy. The impact of COVID-19 is huge, bringing contracted growth in all sectors of the economy. Containment measures such as lockdown, restrictions of travel, and social distancing has affected the performances of businesses and domestic demand for 2020. In terms of trade, Sarawak has always registered positive balance of trade since 1970s. Despite the slowing down of the economy, we are glad that as of August this year, Sarawak continues to enjoy positive trade balance. Our major export markets are Japan, Peninsular Malaysia, China, and Korea. Oil and gas contributed more than 50% of our export from January to August 2020. Others come from palm oil, aluminium, ferroalloy, wood products, electrical and electronics, and other agriculture products. We started to export aluminium and ferroalloy products as a result of diversification of our economic base and our ability to power the industries through the development of our hydro potential. Whereas Sarawak's imports are largely on capital and intermediate goods, namely machinery and transport equipment. The remaining imported products were chemical, food, beverages, tobacco, manufactured product, crude materials, and inedible and mineral fuels and lubricants. Sarawak and Australia also have long-term socio-economic collaborations since 1970s. Many of our leaders are product of the Australian universities. We have two Australian university branches in Sarawak, namely Swinburne University and Curtin University. Sarawak total trade with Australia has increased from RM 58.7 million in 1970 to RM 3.2 billion in 2019. Our export to Australia in 2019 was Australian dollar 0.52 billion, mainly in mineral fuels and lubricants. Whilst our import from Australia in 2019 was Australian dollar 0.53 billion, mainly in growth material and edible products. Despite global economic slowdown in the past 2 years, Sarawak was still able to attract new investment with an approved investment of Australian dollar 2.91 billion in 2018 and Australian dollar 0.89 billion in 2019. However, up to September this year, Sarawak ranked number 1 as the most preferred investment destination in Malaysia in terms of investment in manufacturing sector, worth Australian dollar 5.2 billion as reported by MEDA. Even during this pandemic, serious foreign investors continue to seek investment opportunities in Sarawak. We have South Korean and China investors applying to enter Sarawak to conduct feasibility studies on their investment. As highlighted in the market research report, Malaysia federal government provided various supports such as fairness status, which grant partial exemption from income tax, investment tax allowance on qualifying capital expenditure incurred within 5 years of the date of approval of the project, reinvestment allowance, and promoted sectors in high-tech industries, strategic industries, research and development, green technologies, and hydrogen fuels. In addition to the tax incentives provided by the federal government, the state government also offers competitive land price and flexible terms of payment for land premium for 5 years, competitive electricity, and water tariff to investors. The land premium for government-developed industrial land is priced approximately Australian dollar 6.72 per square feet, with 30% rebate on the land premium if the project is completed and operational within the specified period. In terms of power supply, 75% are sourced from green energy, generated through hydropower, and the remaining 25% from gas and coal for power stability and reliability. Energy-intensive long-term consumers can opt for Power Purchase Agreement, PPA. With the support and incentive of both the federal and Sarawak government, major industries have invested in Sarawak, where modern infrastructure and facilities are available. The Samalaju Industrial Park in Bintulu is one of the Sarawak success story in attracting foreign and domestic investment in the energy-intensive industry. Foreign investors, namely Pertama Ferroalloy on manganese alloy and porosilicon, OM Holding on polysilicon and silico-manganese, precious metal, aluminium ingots and billets, and OCIM on polycrystalline silicon, have invested and commenced with their manufacturing operation. Another successful industrial park in Sarawak is the Samajaya Pre-Industrial Zone, located in Kuching City. It is home to high-tech companies such as Longi on solar, Western Digital on aluminium and glass substrate, Expect on semiconductors, Tioden on multi-layer ceramic capacitors, and Elgin on copper foil. Sarawak government has established the Sarawak Economic Action Council to formulate development strategies to push for a recovery from the severe socio-economic impact of COVID-19. The council involves stakeholders from various fields such as business communities, professional, and academic. Through this engagement, Sarawak targeted to remain resilient and promote future economic growth and development up to the year 2030, incurring on two core principles, namely digital economy and environmental sustainability. Our aspiration is that by year 2030, Sarawak will be a thriving society driven by data and innovation, where everyone enjoys economic prosperity, social inclusivity, and sustainable environment. The target of doubling the size of our economy and a growth of 8% per annum need to be translated to every Sarawakian. In order to make this happen, 7 core economic sectors have been identified as the main growth engines, namely, number 1, commercial agriculture and communities, concentrating on smart and precision farming. Number 2, manufacturing with IR 4.0. Number 3, forestry with focus on reforestation. 4, tourism and effort to increase connectivity for both leisure and business visitors. 5, mining and exploration towards downstream value chain. 6, renewable energy, as well as exploring the potential of hydrogen, biomass, and solar. And 7, access to affordable and quality services. I believe that Western Australia can benefit from these developments through collaboration with Sarawak's business players in the key economic sectors, not only in terms of business and market expansion, but also in other areas such as transfer of technology, skill, and knowledge. I would like to invite businesses from Western Australia and Sarawak to work closely to tap on the potentials available in both regions, which can benefit both parties. On this note, I would like to thank everybody for your patience and indulgence. I wish everybody a fruitful endeavor. Stay safe and stay healthy. Thank you very much.